Hi, Rasmus users. Today we're going to be talking about the notification center and how to set up notification settings. So to manage your notification settings, um, for certain privileges, and this is going to depend on how things are set up within the user privileges, users themselves can go to their account and there is a space where they can control any notifications that they're allowed to control. You can see here that I, as a user, am not able to actually control notifications, but I'm able to see which ones I am receiving. To actually manage notification settings, you're going to do that under user privileges. We've got another more detailed video on the knowledge base that goes over how to manage user privileges, but the notifications tab is going to be where we can manage that. For our user roles, you'll select the role that you want to manage notifications for. This lock icon will make it so that you can either allow users to change that notification setting or not. If it's locked, then they're locked into whatever you set for their role here. If we scroll down to these bottom 4 notification types, we can completely disable these notification types, unlike some of the other ones. We can also select this middle icon, which will make it so that a user has to clear out this pending notification type before they can start another session. So if they have this pending notification type, then they will have to go in and fix it, either complete their note or finish their session or whatever that might be. And then you can obviously just check on and off the different notification types, which include a daily digest, email, push, or in-app notifications. All notifications outside of email or push notifications, they're all going to show up here in the notification center. You'll be able to see a quick overview of your most recent notifications, but to click view all, then this will actually take you into the notification center where you can filter out the different notifications by status or the type of notification. So if I have action notifications, these will have action required on them. We can also do it by client if there's specific clients that we want to filter out the notifications for. You can also mark them all as read as long as they aren't an action required notification. Now, the nice thing is if it's an action required notification, I can click on that notification and it's going to take me right to the place where I need to complete that action. So in this circumstance, it's a pending signature request. I can go right to it and sign it. That's pretty much all there is to our notification center. There is another video on the knowledge base about how to set up session-specific notifications as well. So go ahead and check that out, as well as our video on user privileges.